Hello, Assalamu alaikum, adab and good morning to all of you. It's your host Azharuddin. Welcome you back on my channel. Today we are going to talk about if you are English lover, if you are working on your fluency, then this video is for you, and this video is going to be very interesting for you. And if you want to continue this video, before we get started, I would like to take a minute of yours to subscribe my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and thanks all my new subscribers who have subscribed my channel. So please do continue watching this video. We will be learning how to think in English. It's so important to learn to think in English, because when you can think in English, you can communicate without translating every word in your head. And this is so important because it allows you to contribute to the conversation more rapidly, with more ease, and you can answer questions more quickly. Basically, think in English is a huge step towards fluency, and that's what you want. That's what you are working for. Well, let's get it started. I've got 5 tips for you today. My first tip for learning to think in English is to get comfortable talking to yourself in English. So many people talking to themselves feels really awkward, and I understand that it does feel really little awkward, but the thing is, you're probably talking to yourself right now and you don't even realize it. You might be saying something to yourself like, oh, this man has got a nice haircut. I think anything it can be. I hope you are paying more attention to the lesson I'm talking about. My point is, we are constantly talking to ourselves. The thing is, I want you to start talking to yourself in English, to talk to yourself in your head in English, or talk to yourself aloud in English. Okay, so I have a few tips for those of you who don't usually talk to yourself in English. If you do talk to yourself in English, feel free to share some tips below and keep it up. So my first tip for learning to talk to yourself in English is to start very simple. Begin by talking to yourself when you are brushing your teeth, for example. So when I used to learn, I used to work on fluency. What I used to do after when I used to brushing in my teeth, I used to talk to myself. Oh, I need a haircut. Oh, what's that in my face? So anything it can be anything. You maybe noticing my hair in the morning. So that's what you can start. Just notice your face, notice your hairs, notice the things you like about yourself, and talk to yourself intentionally in English. Another good tip is to talk to yourself on your way to work, or if you work from home, to talk to yourself you start work. So you can talk to yourself a lot, whatever you are going to do on that day. If you have meetings, you have emails, you have big projects, so just talking to yourself about those things, but in English. Alright, my third tip for talking to yourself in English, become a narrator. I mean, to narrate means tell a story about anything. You probably watch a movie, there's a voice in the background telling everyone what is really going on. So you my friend become that voice. So I usually talk to myself. I narrate the story about my friend. I like to pretend that what my friends talking about, what my friends are going to do right now. I narrate like that. I used to narrate like that. So this allows me to practice different vocabulary on otherwise may not be able to use. It helps me to stay in a place where that feels really fun and playful, and that's also important as well. So here's my 4th tip for talking to yourself in English. My tip is to choose an object anywhere in the room and spend 1 full minute describing that object using all of the word you know in your vocabulary. Maybe it can be about colors, textures. The key is here, the 1 minute you continuously talk, so you're not going to take any break, anything like that. So just use the words you already know. It will help you with your fluency, and the next time you see that object, you will automatically start to think in English, and that's really important. I suggest you to do this 3 times a day for a minute. For those of you already talking to yourself aloud in English, just keep it up and it will help you. Let's move on. My second tip how to think in English is to get rid of bilingual dictionary. Throw it out. Most of us think that our bilingual dictionary will help us to become fluent, but the truth is it probably will not, and it probably hurting us. A bilingual dictionary is most helpful for beginners who has just begun, the people who like to travel or just visiting the other countries but don't care about the fluency. And that's not you, you care about the fluency. So it's time to throw the bilingual dictionary out. Because when you use a monolingual dictionary in English only, one language, you prevent yourself to translating things word for word. So the next time that you don't understand a word in English, instead of looking it up in a bilingual dictionary, look it up instead in English monolingual dictionary only. This is so helpful because you learn so many words as you read the definitions, and you also learn so many new words that are similar to the one you're looking for. So the dictionary that I suggest you, Merriam-Webster dictionary, beginners or learners, and you can use the U dictionary as well. These are the excellent dictionaries with simple definitions. They can really help you to the next step towards fluency and to thinking in English. Let's move on to my third tip for thinking in English. This tip is when you're in a conversation and you don't know a word, instead of stopping to look the word up, describe the word instead. So for example, let's say that I'm supposed to go to watch someone outside, but I forgot my coat, and so I don't want to because it's too cold. So let's say I want to communicate with a person, but I forgot to say the word, how to use the word on a phone. I can say, I would love to go lunch with you, but it's too cold, but I forgot that a piece of clothing or second layers, you can say, that keeps you warm in the winters. So describe the word instead. You might feel a little silly doing this, but it's so helpful because you stay with the flow in that conversation, and that's what fluency is. Fluency is not perfection, it is to flow fluid in your conversations. The next time you're talking to someone and you forget a word, just describe the word instead. The other one will probably have fun guessing what you are trying to say. So I have a little challenge for you right now. Pick up an object and describe it in English in the comments, or whatever you can do with yourself. Okay, let's move on. Number 4, my fourth tip how to think in English is a simple one. Keep a diary and to keep a to-do list. So to keep a diary, this means daily, maybe write a paragraph in English. Whatever we are writing in a language we are trying to learn, it gives an opportunity to relax, to take our time, and to kind of explore whatever comes to your mind first. You can use the new vocabulary, and we can practice a sentence structure, and whatever we write something down, it helps our brain to remember it. It also works very well with the to-do list. So to-do list is a list of things you have to do. Maybe take the garbage out, wash out the dishes, and then you are doing those things. You might even trigger into thinking in English while you do that. Okay, so let's move on. My fifth and final tip for learning to think in English. This fifth tip is to create a mantra in English. A mantra is a word or a phrase you can repeat yourself that will remind you of something. Usually a word or phrase, something that is simple, that helps you to be intentional and stay positive. So for example, I suggest creating a mantra in English that you can say right when you wake up in the morning. Before you speak your native language, your first word can be in English. This will be an amazing, that will automatically turn your brain to think in English. Your good morning mantra like be something, wake up and say yourself, I am amazing and I'm excited about learning more English today. Very simple, right to English right away. And I also suggest you use the mantra at night, right before the bed. The last word you say of the day can be in English. And so at night I suggest you say something like, I'm really proud to all the English I learned today. I'm excited to learn more English as I'm doing. Again, very simple, but if you have the last word of the day in English, it will help you to dream in English. That's for your subconscious thing, the kind of flag, the English word that's easier to remember when you wake up. So these are my 5 tips how to think in English. I hope you enjoy this video. Feel free to like this video and comment whatever comes into your mind. Just please comment. If you like the video, like it, and don't be hesitate to subscribe my channel.